My name's Jason Leveille. I'm the gaming sommelier. I go by Smiley. We're here in Manitou Springs, the Pikes Peak Gamers convention. I've been playing games really all my life, but over the last 10, 12 years, I've been into the explosion of Euro style board games. There's a collection of over 800 games. I've probably played 80 or 90% of them. I love reading rules, and so I figured them out, and so my job is to give recommendations to everybody, pair those games up, and then as I walk the room, and I'm going to explain how rules are going. 4 levels, it's an abstract game, and really all that means is that there's not some sort of theme, so it's not like, it's about pirates, or there's a story or something that's being told, but you're just moving, you've got pieces of different colors. The game overall, it's got a pretty simple rule set. I actually find that from a game design perspective, that's a real challenge, in order to make something that's interesting. So typically I end up, and there's a lot of people that have an abstract, I kind of have this good sort of idea. And you play for a little bit and it just ends up with falls flat because you're like, well, there's not much there to it, right? And you kind of almost can think about tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe is easy. There's not enough to it. It doesn't really kind of draw you in. And so with this one, I really like it because there's a bunch of things that are kind of in it. So somebody that likes chess, they would really enjoy it, or even sort of on a checkers kind of level. You've got just 3 different types of pieces that are here, and you always know what piece you're playing next. And I almost thought, well, now that I got such a limited set of decisions, I'm not so sure that I'm going to like this. But it turns out that it ends up that there's a lot of choices just in simply what you place, and what you're thinking about is you know what your opponent's also going to do, and you've got to kind of block them. And you've got this whole second level kind of thing of, well, wait a minute, if I'm playing here on this, then I have to go maybe 2 moves down the road, this is what I need to do. And the pieces work together, and so it ends up that some spaces are shared, but not exactly, depending upon which piece is played and when it's played. And so that ends up that there's a bunch of different levels. The other thing that I really enjoy about the game is that you've got the aesthetic of it. So there's 4 different levels, and it ends up that the thing is it's really kind of interesting. You're like, somebody's going to look at that and be like, well, what exactly are you playing? And so that's a real challenge also for an abstract game, because the pieces are pretty basic often. It's kind of, how do you make it so that it still can kind of draw you in? And this game really does it. So my enthusiasm for the game is genuine. I mean, it's not like, oh, well, I'm just sort of shilling for hey, these guys have put me up to it. This is an excellent game. There's a lot of games that are out there, and it's like, oh, they're pretty good. It's a pretty decent game. This is really legitimately it's an excellent game. It brings something in that abstract thing. There's a handful of them that are really, really good, and that's in that top tier of abstract games. Yeah, I'm sure that we'll have one here in the vault for our convention when we have it next year.